Hey everyone, it's me, and I wanted to catch you guys up on what's going on. I've been getting a lot of messages and comments lately asking me where I am and if I'm okay with everything going on with the coronavirus outbreak. It's been a hectic couple of days, and quite frankly, the last week of my life has been the strangest of my life so far. It's just been a whirlwind. I'm okay right now. Everything's good. I'm in a safe place. But I do want to give you guys a little recap of where I've been and what's been going on. I was down in Mexico, and I had started kind of doing these little like update videos that I was going to try to post daily as everything was evolving. And unfortunately, as I was making my way to the US border, I just wasn't able to find any decent Wi Fi. And so I had to take all of those little updates and I've kind of strung them together and put together a little video for you of what's been going on over the last week for me. I do have to apologize in advance for the poor audio quality. I was really distracted and just kind of doing everything I could to get home safely. And so I didn't hook up the microphone when I was recording. I just talked on the GoPro. Some of the audio is not great. There's a little bit of wind noise. I did what I could to fix it up, but I really just wanted to get this video out and just catch you guys up to what's going on currently. So let's go ahead and jump into me from roughly 4 days ago. I'm still in Mexico. I was down in Cabo. I wasn't really sure what to do, whether I was gonna wait it out or head back to the States. Over the last week, I kind of decided it would be best for me to head back to the US. Unfortunately, I got kind of stuck because of some bad weather. And so I was waiting that out. I finally got a break in the weather and I'm able to kind of make a run for it. But right now I'm probably like 700 miles from the US border, which down here that's quite a bit. I'm trying to do it in about 2 days. I think I've done about 200 miles today. I'm trying to do, another 4 maybe. I'm just north of, probably about an hour north of Laredo. It's actually a really beautiful place, really beautiful coastline. I'm just sticking to the main road, which is just Highway 1 over here. And I'm trying to enjoy it, trying to relax a little bit and not get too nervous about everything going on. My anxiety has been through the roof lately, though. Just a very uneasy feeling, A lot of it just not really knowing what's going on and trying to decide, what's the best thing to do. I mean, I've been doing what I can to isolate myself as I travel. I feel a little uneasy about even just being on the road and being out and about. But I'm not interacting with people. I don't stop anywhere. I just get to a hotel and lock myself inside for the night. I have a little bit of food with me, a little bit of supply. I had a hard time getting cash the other day, but I did get some cash just in case. And it's a little concerning down here in Mexico because they don't really seem to be reacting to it, which is part of the reason why I decided it was best for me to head back to the US before things really hit the fan down here, because I it's just speculation, but I think it might get a little ugly down here. I'm a little nervous about getting over the border too. I know they're gonna let me over, but I don't know what kind of hoops I'm gonna have to jump through, and I'm just nervous about that amount of people and, people panicking to get back to the US and potentially being in an area where there could be a lot of sick people trying to get over the border and not realizing they're bringing a virus with them. I feel like I have this little window of opportunity to get back in the US before they put any more travel restrictions on us, before we're in any kind of full-on quarantine with absolutely no travel, because I'm very conscious about where I stop at night, just in case that ends up being somewhere I'm stuck for a while. It's hard to keep enough food on the bike. Like, there's no way I'd be prepared for a 2-week quarantine with what I have. I'm just a little stressed out and just trying to stay focused and keep my mind on the road so that, I'm paying attention. I mean, the road's beautiful, it's really nice in parts, but you absolutely have to pay attention. I mean, it's just no room for error. There's no shoulder. it's all, a lot of it is like just a cliff. I don't know if you can see this, but there's no room for error. It's the only road down here. Man, I'm just getting tired. And a lot of tractor trailers and, you know, potholes and animals running around on the road. So like, I can't be distracted on the bike, and as it is, I'm having a hard time focusing. My anxiety is just kicking up pretty bad. I mean, I'm trying to just stay rational, and, you know, for now I'm okay, and who knows what it's going to be, but right now, today, I'm okay, and I try to just keep that in my head, like, you know, when I was down in Cabo, I mean, it was like business as usual, people shaking hands and just acting normal, you know. A lot of tourists down there too, which is concerning because you know, there's just a lot of people in Cabo right now, or there were, from all over the world, and who knows what they're bringing in, and nobody's doing the right thing down there. So it's just, it was kind of unnerving. And then, you know, I was down in Cabo for a few days, and the first 2 days it was just business as usual, and then all of a sudden it was like people started catching on, and everything was empty. Like, all the businesses were open, but everything was just empty, and it was just super eerie. Yeah, I met a guy on a bike down in Cabo, and he was saying the road north of here was just an absolute mess. They've been getting a lot of rain, and it's washing all the mud into the road. And he said, you know, you're crazy if you go that way. It's not even passable, most of it. But I figured, you know, it had been raining for a few weeks. I checked the weather, and, you know, I got up as far north as I could. And I was trying not to go too far north, because then it would have gotten more expensive for me to hide out. And I got as far as I could north, and just waiting on the weather to break. Today it finally stopped raining, so by the time I get to the area he was talking about, that would be tomorrow. I'm hoping it's kind of dried up enough, because he was saying it was so slick that he could barely keep the bike up, and he strongly advised that I not go that way, but I think it's the lesser of two evils at this point. So I'm just going for it, and being safe and careful and isolating and just trying to relax. It's beautiful, but it's hard to enjoy. So I made it to a hotel. I'm in a town called Guerrero Negro, and I want to show you guys on the map real quick where I'm at, and then I'll tell you a little bit what's going on right now. This is Cabo right down here, and up here is La Paz. So I was down in Cabo when I decided to head back, and from there I came up to La Paz. Now from La Paz, once you start going this way, the next real place is Laredo, which is right here, and that was just an expensive town. Now the weather was good in the southern half of the peninsula, and I could have made it further north, but I decided just to stay where it was affordable. And so I stayed in La Paz for 2 nights, the last 2 nights. Woke up this morning, came up here through Ciudad Constitucion, and then that road comes up here and to Laredo right here. Kind of blew by that. When I talked to you guys, I was probably somewhere around here, and kept coming up Santa Rosalia and over here. Now for some reason it's not on the map, even though it's in the state of Baja California Sur, but where I'm at is basically right here. And essentially I'm at the halfway point of the peninsula. I wanted to keep going. Let me go outside here. I wanted to keep going because it's still pretty early. It was only about 4 o'clock when I stopped for the day. But the problem is that north of here there's really nothing. So I had to call it. So north of here, I would have maybe been good for another hour. I was definitely getting tired. I wanted to get a little closer to the border. But the problem is there's nothing north of here for at least 2 to 2.5 hours. And I didn't want to push that hard, so As of right now, I'm about, according to the GPS, I'm about 10 hours from Mexicali. I'm still up in the air if I'm going to pick Mexicali or there's another border crossing a little bit east of there. I'm going to kind of check and see which one might be a little quieter. So far everything seems fine, but I did see some flooded roads, so I'm a little concerned what the situation is going to be a little bit north of here. But that is for tomorrow. So like I said, I'm in a hotel. I'm Guerrero Negro, about halfway point. I got to check in with all my family. I've been getting text messages all day, but I've just been blasting through this. I actually had a Federale tell me to pass him, which was so bizarre because I was screaming down the road and I came up on a car and I didn't realize it was a Federale, and he just like waved me by. He's like, just go. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of text messages because, well, yesterday Trump closed the border to Canada, and there's a little bit of concern about what's happening with the Mexican border. And I've heard from several people that they're basically telling everybody come back to the United States, which I was doing anyway. So I'm just going to keep making my way. I'm going to get some rest tonight, call my family, touch base with everybody and let them know I'm okay. As I kind of get a little bit closer to the border, there's potential I could cross the border tomorrow. Depending on how it looks, I might get a hotel near the border and wake up like first thing in the morning and get over the border. Be one of the first people in line. I have a feeling it's going to be crazy. I'm not really sure what to expect, so. Just got up really, really tired. It's still dark out, but I think I gotta just pack up and head out. I got a really big day ahead of me. So obviously I did not have Wi-Fi, or I would have posted that video. So this is, I guess, gonna be kind of a long video. So I found out that I'm missing a piece of paper that I need to get over the border. So I have to stop in San Felipe to get that today. And then I'm up in the air on whether I'm gonna cross in Mexicali, which would be directly north of San Felipe. Otherwise, I'm going to go east to Rocky Point, spend the night there, cross first thing in the morning over at that border crossing, which is apparently a little bit smaller, and I might have a little bit of an easier time getting through. I'm a little bit concerned about the flooding roads today, and just the border situation in general is just freaking me out. I'm worried about what I'm walking into there. So, yeah, my family's been calling me. They're concerned. I'm concerned. It's just a crazy situation, and I still got at least 9 hours to go until I get to the border, and I don't want to get there at the end of the day, which is why I'm leaving so early. And I'm probably gonna end up getting stuck there at the end of the day anyway, or possibly crossing tomorrow, which I guess that's fine, as long as they don't close the border or things don't get worse in the next 24 hours. I could be potentially going to the border right now, 24 hours from now. It's about 5 o'clock. So yeah, I gotta pack the bike up. I'm gonna try to do a little better about filming today, because I think I'm gonna hit a lot of flooded roads, and I know there's a section of construction where it's like 5 miles of dirt, and it was pretty rough when it was dry coming down. I was warned that section might be a little tricky, so I'll make sure to capture at least a little bit of that. I'm actually more than halfway, which is good. I can't really relax today because I have to really push to get there, but it's not going to be as hard of a day as it was yesterday, so that's a good thing. So yeah, I got to get this bike packed up and get out there, start tackling this. So I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. Been on the bike for about 2 hours and managed to shave a good hour off of what the GPS was telling me to the place where I got to get that paperwork over in San Felipe. Just met some Canadians and they said they're talking about closing Mexicali possibly today. So I do need to keep moving and really hustle up. Pretty tired, but the road's easy. So I actually took a right not too far back, maybe about an hour back, and I guess I averted the construction zone because the right that I took was just before that, and that was where I was worried about getting a bunch of mud, and it was just like a dirt, maybe 3 miles, but it was pretty rough going over it dry. So I was pretty concerned about that, but at least I don't have to do that. It looks like this road is much nicer so far, so I should be able to make some pretty good time. Almost ran out of gas, and I just found this place, and luckily they were open because I would have definitely not made it to the next gas station. So I'm all fueled up. I had a little snack, and I'm just gonna keep pushing. GPS is saying 2.5 hours to that place where I get the paperwork. I think I could probably do it closer to 2 hours, hopefully. Get that taken care of and then just go straight for the border. I'm a little nervous that the border might not be open by the time I get there, so we'll see. Buenas tardes. ¿Este? Okay. Este también o? Este?
No.
Okay.
¿Me gusta?
Sí. Gracias. ¿Todo bien? Gracias. All right. So, I'm really tired. So I got to San Felipe and I went to immigration after I got gas. I went over to immigration to get the paperwork I needed, which is called an FMT. I asked them if they had them. She said they don't. I would have to go to Mexicali for that. I said, do I need one to get over the US border? And she thought I was asking if I had to leave to go into US and come back to get one. All I need to know is if they check for this piece of paper at the border. So anyways, I left because she said they didn't have what I needed. And I think after the fact, I kind of realized she might have thought I was talking about an FMM, which is for a vehicle, I guess. That is not what I'm looking for. I just need the tourist card. Anyways. I'm heading towards Mexicali. I made that decision. I wasn't sure if I was going to go there or the one that was a little bit quieter, but because I might need that piece of paperwork, I'm just going to go to Mexicali. I'm just going to bite the bullet. I got a few calls and texts from people while I was at the gas station saying the border is going to be closed if it's not already. I'll be able to get in because I'm a US citizen, so I'm not concerned about that. I am just concerned about the state of affairs at the border right now and how people are going to be kind of scrambling to get over before they shut it, if they haven't already. And I'm just really nervous. I don't know what I'm getting into. I don't know what kind of testing they're going to be doing, or you know, I'm sure they're going to check my temperature. I just don't know what I'm getting into. I can't get any real answers on what's going on over there right now. I've been kind of leapfrogging with some other people that are scrambling to get to the border. It's just really stressful. It's so beautiful. It's such a shame because I was so looking forward to coming back this way, and I'm certainly not complaining. I know plenty of people have it a lot worse than me right now. But I was so looking forward to coming back this way, and I'm barely able to enjoy it. It's absolutely stunning, but I'm just so stressed out about the border and what's gonna happen, and worried about my family and myself. I mean, I don't want to get sick, but I'm also, just concerned about what I'm sending downstream. I'm thinking once I get over the border, I'm probably gonna have to lay low for a while, make sure that I'm not sick before I just show up at a friend's or family's house and dragging a virus in with me. It's just terrifying here because people are just business as usual. I mean, a lot of people look like they're still heading down for vacation, or maybe they're just coming down here to wait it out. Saw a lot of guys on motorcycles heading down yesterday, and even the locals are just kind of business as usual. I mean, I did see some masks today at the gas stations and at immigration. They were wearing masks. That's about the only sign, other than the missing tourists, everywhere I've been. Everybody's acting normal. They're hanging out with each other, interacting, eating at restaurants. I just can't even picture what's going on in the United States right now. That it's just, from what I hear, just everything shut down and just like a ghost town. So there is talk of full-blown quarantine in the US. I guess they're doing that in California right now. They're talking about doing that in New York. And I can't get a straight answer on whether that's legally enforced or not. My concern is that, I get over the border, I get into somewhere in Arizona and get a hotel tonight, that I wake up in the morning and they'll say, nobody on the roads, where you are is where you stay. I hope they give us some notice at least, because I just don't want to be stuck somewhere random where I don't know anybody and I don't have any food or supplies. As it is, I'm probably looking at a hotel for at least a week or two, just to wait and see if I get sick. I mean, right now I'm just assuming everybody else is sick, and also assuming that I'm sick, and just treating it as such, that, I'm careful not to give it to anybody if I do happen to have it. And I'm assuming everybody I'm interacting with probably has it. Been getting a lot of text messages, a lot of people checking in on me. It's been hard to keep up on it because I've just been so focused on just getting to the border. I try to respond to people when I can, but a lot of people have been worried about me, which is, I appreciate it, but it's concerning. Makes me wonder what's going on back there, I mean, I have a general idea. I'm not completely clueless to it. But I mean, I have no grasp on it because I'm not there. So I'm about an hour from Mexicali, and then I gotta go to immigration, which really sucks because it's probably gonna be crazy. So I'll get to immigration. I gotta make sure I don't have any food or anything with me that I'm not supposed to take. I can take some stuff. I'm just not gonna, I don't want to risk it, so I'm probably just gonna get rid of all the food I have and just restock when I get over the border. Immigration is right by the border, so I'll be able to see, what's going on at the border before I get in line. And I'll do my best to film as much of the border crossing as possible, because this ought to be real interesting, but I don't know. I've been filming the checkpoints today and they haven't seemed to minded that, so maybe they'll let me film. I'm gonna try anyway. I'm really hoping this goes smoothly, that I don't hit any hiccups and it's not too chaotic over there. I mean, the two things I was worried about was getting here with the mud and everything, and the border was worrying. The mud ended up not being a thing, so hopefully the border will be the same, but I don't know. I have a feeling it's gonna be crazy. So I'm just gonna take a little break before I get there and enjoy my last few minutes in Mexico before I hit the craziness. It's absolutely stunning. I just drove over like a dry lake bed or something, a salt flat kind of thing. It's really neat. It's absolutely beautiful here. Such a shame. So that was super weird. I honestly felt like I was being punked. It was super, super weird. Let me actually go inside. The sound might be kind of loud with all this traffic. I got to Yuma, Arizona, and yeah, crossing that border was super weird. Not at all what I was expecting. It was actually a little bit concerning that's all they were doing today. They weren't really checking much. So I don't even know what to make of all of that. I got into Mexicali, was having a hell of a time finding immigration, and I'm circling around, almost going down the wrong way, down one ways. It's super confusing. There's no signs. Couldn't find it anywhere. The GPS is showing me a spot that just doesn't exist. You can only get to it from one way, and you have to zigzag through the town to get to it. It's really meant as soon as you come out the border on the Mexican side, you're supposed to get this piece of paper. They don't make it easy to get it once you're in. Coming this way, I guess. I'm assuming like if you came through the border, it would be right there on the right. Well, that's a one way. You can't get in there. So to get to it from the Mexican side, you have to do all this weird stuff. So I'm circling around Mexicali. Somebody comes up to me, and I was kind of on edge. I'm in a border town, and I'm like, I don't want to look like I'm lost or I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to just play it cool. But I'm looking at my phone trying to figure out, like, my phone keeps taking me this one way, and it's not the right spot. So I'm trying to look at it and like figure it out because my phone is showing me like arrows for the one ways. I'm sitting there trying to figure this out. And a guy comes up to me and starts talking to me. I don't remember exactly what he asked me first, but he spoke really good English. So I decided, you know what, to hell with it. I'll just ask this guy, where is immigration? And he points across the street. Oh, it's right there. Like, how do I get there? Where do I park? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, follow me. I'll get you there. He has me go through the barricade, cut across the traffic, park. I go into immigration, and they tell me, well, I told him what I had lost this piece of paper that I was supposed to get, and that I needed a replacement. And he's like, he got really like, oh no, that's not good. And at first I thought he was joking. He was wearing a mask, so I couldn't see his face, just his eyes.
¿Vas para Estados Unidos?
Sí.
¿O vas para La Baja?
Estados Unidos.
Pero, ¿y tu permiso?
No tengo.
¿Por qué? ¿Dónde está?
Lost.
¿Lo perdiste?
Sí.
Oh my god. Mm. Ok. Un momento.
Okay. And he says, hold on one second. So now I'm starting to think maybe this is serious, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This is not gonna be good. He's on the phone with somebody, and my Spanish isn't that great, so I don't know what he was saying. He's going back and forth with somebody on the phone, and he hangs up and he says, yeah, you're good. And I'm like, okay. So I said, is this the line? Like, I just get back in this traffic, I just cut across, and just that's the United States, right? Like, that's the way I go. And he's like, yeah, just get in line, you're fine. You don't need that paper. So I come back outside. This guy was watching my bike. I gave him a couple bucks for helping me out and everything. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna take you all the way to the border. I'll get you up to the front and show you what to do. I want to make sure you're all set. Like, he was just trying to get a few bucks out of me, which I really was not upset about at all. I would have given him more, but. So he starts telling me like, oh, go around that barricade and ride down the sidewalk. And meanwhile, like, I'm freaking out. And I was thinking this whole time that I was going to get to immigration, and I was imagining a parking lot where I could kind of situate myself, get ready to go across the border, and make sure that I don't have any fruit, like double check everything, uh, you know, drink a little water, and get ready for what I was anticipating was going to be a long gauntlet of inspections. So he has me going through these sidewalks. Now I'm like, oh my god, I'm at the border. I didn't check anything. I don't know. I had a little bit of food in my bags, which I'm allowed to have, but I wasn't sure, what's allowed and what's not allowed. Everything I had was allowed, but I didn't have a chance to check it. So I'm sitting there and I'm freaking out. I'm following this guy. He's cutting through traffic and like blocking people and telling them to let me through. And I'm like, at some point I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna have to park in front of one of these people and like completely cut them in line. So now we're standing there. I can see the border.
You don't have to be in the line. No, go straight because you're a motorcycle guy. So if you go first, they kind of attend you first.
Just go right up here where that lady's walking?
Yeah, straight to the, you see what the other motorcycle are?
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay.
You don't have to be in the line. Go straight.
Okay.
Because you don't have a car. You have a motorcycle.
Okay.
You just go. That's for motorcycle only. And car is after.
I could get in front of these people.
Just go straight. I swear to God. Go straight on everything, sir. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
Okay, the reason is because you don't have a car. It's not a point you to be in the line.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
And he's telling me, go that way. Just go, cut in front, and go right to the front of the line. You're on a motorcycle. It's fine. You're allowed to do that. And I'm like, are you sure, man? Like, this doesn't seem right. He's like, no, just go, I promise. So I go to the front of the line, and sure enough, there's just like a cluster of bikes, and I see some other bikes pulling in behind me. So now I know I'm kind of doing the right thing. I'm sitting there at the border, and now he's gone. And now all of a sudden, I just had like this massive wave, like a ton of bricks just hit me. And I was like, oh, like, what if he had me go into immigration and he was watching my bike? What if they planted drugs on my bike or something? I'm sitting there thinking, like, there's going to be somebody on the other side of the border. Like, if I make it through here, they're going to be on me to get whatever they put on my bike back. Thinking that's if I don't get caught with it. So I'm like having this whole panic attack in my head. I'm picturing, all my stuff being spread out all over the sidewalk. Immigration, Border Patrol everywhere, just swarming on me. I was expecting they were going to, go through all the inspection, and then they were going to take my temperature and check my pupils and do all these things. And I watched 2 bikes go through, and then it was my turn. I wasn't there more than 10 minutes. I talked to the Border Patrol.
Hey. set.
Bring anything back from Mexico?
No,
No. What are you in Mexico for?
I was on vacation.
No
Yeah.
narcotics on you?
No.
No. What's your final destination?
Arizona, Phoenix.
That's where I live.
Yeah.
The Border Patrol asked me a couple questions, sent me on my way, and I'm standing there in the booth where I'm talking to the border guard. I'm looking at secondary inspection, so I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna talk to this guy. He's gonna do a preliminary, check my passport. Then I'm gonna go there, go through inspection, and then I'm sure after that is gonna be, these guys in hazmat suits checking my temperature and everything else. And the guy says, okay, you're all set. And I'm like, okay, where do I go from here? He's like, oh, you could just leave. I'm like, well, just leave? Like, what do you mean? There's an inspection right there? He's like, no. Just go out, take a left, take a right, and that's the street. He gives me directions on where I was going. And I'm thinking to myself, like, am I being punked right now? Like there is no way it was that easy. And I get on the bike and I like pulled out into traffic, and I was seriously expecting to still be in Mexico. Like I thought they were playing a joke on me, or I had gotten in the wrong line to go, to something else. And like, I'm standing there, now you're in a border town in the United States and it looks like Mexico. It doesn't look all that much different. And I'm like looking for signs that like tell me like, okay, you're in the United States. And then the first thing I saw was a border patrol, and I was like, okay, yep, they don't have those in Mexico, so I'm in the US. Anyways, changed my money, rode to Yuma because I wanted to get out of California because I heard they were in a more strict quarantine. And I got a hotel. I'm gonna wait it out at least tonight, see what happens tomorrow, see how I feel over the next few days before I go see family. But it's just so surreal, and I just can't believe I woke up in Guerrero Negro today, which is halfway down the Baja Peninsula. I made it all the way up, got across the border, everything was fine, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, is this a joke? Because everything seems basically normal here. All the businesses are closed, but people are just hustle and bustle doing their thing in Yuma, and it's super weird. And aside from that, I was just like really bummed out because that's just not how I wanted my time in Mexico to end. I had all these ideas of these places I wanted to go and see and visit, and I'm sure I'll get back there someday. But then even aside from that, because I just accepted it and I locked myself in, and okay, I'm getting to the US, like nothing matters except getting there. I was like riding there this morning and I could almost picture this just rolling door just closing in front of me. Like all day I was just seeing this, like I'm making it just in time, and I think I did. I don't know. But anyways, I got to the United States and I was like, this is not the homecoming I was expecting either, because I was really imagining coming back to the US and like going to like these restaurants that I have missed over the last few months that I've been in Mexico, and everything's closed and it's just a real drag. So just not what I had planned, to say the least. It's just a super, super weird experience. This has been just some of the weirdest few days of my life getting north from Cabo, and even the few days leading up to it. So yeah, that's it. This is probably a long video, I'm guessing, but now you guys are completely caught up to speed. Going forward from here, I know everybody's kind of stuck at home, or a lot of you are. I'm gonna try to hopefully start posting twice a week again for a while, just so I can contribute a little bit to what you guys are doing when you're stuck at home, and I'm gonna be stuck anyway, so I'll have time to catch up on editing. I have a lot of videos from the national parks trip to still edit, and if you are sitting at home and you're bored, you can always check out some of those if you haven't seen them, or rewatch them. I did a trip to all the national parks this year, and I'm still editing the last few. I still have maybe 6 left to post, so hopefully those will be out in the next few weeks. I have a few gear reviews I'm going to do and a few other things, so I will be putting out videos regularly. And that is it. Again, I hope you're all well and safe and with your families. I'm super tired. I need to cut my hair and take a shower and clean my clothes, and I'm so relieved to have the helmet off. My ears were starting to hurt just from being in the helmet for too long. So I'm gonna see if I can go find some food too, because I am absolutely ravenous right now. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten anything all day. It's been nonstop. So that's it for me, and I hope you guys are all well with your families, being safe and healthy. I'll talk to you guys very soon, and like I said, back to business as usual for me, at least with the posting schedule. Just hit a little bit of a hiccup. I was hoping to post pieces of this as I went, so you guys were more up to date on what was going on, but I just couldn't find good Wi-Fi. So it is what it is. It's not what any of us expected. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.